Welcome into the Ringiverse. This is, of course, the Ringers Nexus podcast feed for all things fandom. We are Steve, the architect, Ahlman, the builder and tinker of things. Jomi, the explainer, Adeniran. You've got questions, he's got answers. Old Man Van, he of the receding resurgent hairline. Coke Baby Chuck, the 24-karat closer. Together, we are known as the Midnight Boys. Pew!
What was
we'll
that,
be right
Jomi?
back after this. Don't interrupt the flow.
I know you not talking.
Don't interrupt the flow.
Instagram be going off every
It's my fault.
Don't interrupt the flow. We'll be right back after this. All right, follow us on socials at the Midnight Boys Pod on Insta and TikTok, at Ringiverse on Insta, Twitter, Facebook, and TikTok. We're on YouTube. Like, comment, subscribe, share. You can watch every Midnight Boys and House of Art episode, youtube.com/@Ringiverse, and also on Spotify. This is a special episode, so we're not going to give you the normal program reminders. We're going to give you San Diego Comic-Con reminders because we are off. The Midnight Boys are heading south, not quite to Mexico, but to San Diego, and we are going to be there to fellowship with all of our friends, fans, and fellow nerds. The entire Ringiverse crew is doing a meet and greet at Whiskey Girl. 6:30. No badge required. So not 8:30, 6:30. No badge required. No badge required for Whiskey Girl, 6:30 on Thursday. I'll tell you guys this. What is required? For you guys to act semi-normal. Any weirdness will be... I'm telling you right now, if you come there with the weird, I'm going to bust your ass. I'm not talking about like get on you physically. I'm talking about if I feel any last year, a couple of things were said,
I think
and
the
I let them go.
audience knows
Strong
we have
things were
warned
said.
them enough.
Yes.
I think they know
I
to
don't
be
give a
warned.
fuck about what you're talking about. I'm telling one more time, just to let you guys know, because when it happens, we gonna feel played.
I feel like you're inviting people to just like try us. Just start over.
Go for it. And by the way,
Go for it.
No. By the way, it
Please.
doesn't matter what I say. They're gonna do it anyway. By the way, I'm not talking about just for me. See, if I'm saying it and you try Steve, I'm gonna bust your ass right there.
Well, no, I mean, it was me. They
was
tried.
you.
They tried you
me.
for
You're
sure.
about to have a Bam and Tyler Hero situation. It's about to be crazy.
That would be awesome.
That would be awesome.
I want to see how scrappy Steve is. We love you guys though, but
Yeah.
like come on, man.
I'm wily.
All jokes aside, seriously, just don't ask Jomi if you can fuck him like what happened last year. That's what the guy asked. He wants to have sex.
Let's
with
speaking
I
about
would
that,
prefer-
we'll talk about it later. I finally got a tour of Jomi's abode.
What?
Oh, shit.
No wonder he don't want us in there.
It's a fuck pad?
It's a fuck.
Oh,
I bet it smells
shit,
crazy.
I bet
That's
it is.
crazy.
I bet it smells crazy.
It's calm
Got the
down.
essential
I bet it
oils
smells
going. It's just like that.
Stop.
Panties hanging from the
I know he doesn't want
lampshade.
to disappoint Kalika. That's what it's about. He doesn't want to disappoint Kalika. Kalika thinks that Jomi is the nicest guy. Like she'll get mad at me and be like, "You should be more."
Oh, it's depraved in there.
Saturday, the Midnight Boys and House of Art doing a panel, 10:30 a.m. 10:30 a.m. The Convention Center, room 5AB. Room 5AB.
B.
AB.
Come through, man.
Normally
Us-
it's room 5A or room 5B.
Right, but sometimes at
5AB.
convention centers, they have these things that like can divide rooms in case they need extra rooms.
So it's 5A, but the B of that.
No. It's 5A and B because they took the divider that divides the A and the B out.
So we get
there's
more space.
More space for more fans to come.
In that case,
Watch
it
us.
should just be room 5.
Okay, so
And make
come
sure,
down.
and here's the thing, make sure y'all get there. We want to see everybody. Make sure you get a seat. Last time, we packed out the room.
Packed out the
Kinda
place.
like,
We got a bigger room for
we
you.
got a bigger room, so
We got a bigger room. If you don't get there on time, you're fucked. We're going to say, make sure you get there. We can't wait. All right. Do we even know what we're doing? Can we tease what we're doing?
we can. I was checking our little doc. Let's just say we gonna do a little bit of power ranking.
Oh, very special.
There's some shit going on in the nerd space, and we are gonna crown some interesting winners, some
Okay.
losers.
All right. Any crowd participation in this, or
There's always gonna be crowd participation.
So you're going to get a chance. Oh, by the way, if you have any specific grievances in the show, you can use the Q&A portion to get those grievances out. Because I want to hear what y'all have to say. It's
Oh,
very
God.
easy to say it, Facebook and Reddit. Tell us on our Facebook.
Oh, this is good.
All right. Stay locked on social for all the updates of what we're doing at Comic-Con. Tell you guys something else. We are just going to be around also as fellow
Literally
fans,
come up
cultural
to
fans.
us, say hi, take
Yeah,
pictures.
yeah,
We love y'all.
absolutely.
We love you
Absolutely.
guys. Say hi, whatever. I always buy a couple of comic books. If you think that there's anything that I need to read or anything like that, you see Chuck, you see Jomi, you see Steve, come up and say hello. We can't wait to
Yeah, we'll be on the floor
hang
for
out
sure.
with you guys. All right. Today, though, it's kind of like an emergency app.
We're a day late. Sorry. Here's the thing. I do have to tell all the listeners, yo, we bank the House of the Dragon pod. Stop getting mad at us. Nobody was in the office yesterday. You know what I mean? People thought that we were leaving them hanging, not giving them the super instant reaction. I'm sorry.
I can't say something else. Just to let you guys know, we are a podcast, right? So we're a podcast. So that means that there's a production schedule, a release schedule, all of that stuff like that. And we're a podcast at a big podcast company, which means like there's not always like right now, if something dropped and I wanted to do an hour on it, there's like I can't call Jomi and be like, "Hey, Jomi, can you edit this?" What I'm saying is we can't. It's not so. It's a company with a lot of inner workings and all of that stuff like that. So we give you the content as soon as we possibly can. I know that a lot of our contemporaries are up right away on this, and they got the whole thing going and stuff like that.
Also, other people, we have jobs here, like Jomi and Steve.
Yeah,
we're working.
We're
I mean, this studio. I mean, literally, this studio was unavailable yesterday. Like it just was.
Well, hold on. I don't want to. Yeah, you're right. Jomi's right. I don't want to. I don't want to like browbeat the audience, but we're just trying to say that we record as soon as we can with everything that we can every time, just so you guys know.
Yes.
All right, today we're going to react to the Doomsday trailer. Chuck, take it away.
All right, so yesterday we finally got our full-length trailer for Avengers Doomsday. Very interesting. Thor, we all kind of knew, is the protagonist of this, and where we can start just off the top, maybe even before instant reactions. Do we feel bad for Thor? Do we feel bad for Odinson? Throughout the entire trailer, he's kind of looking around at what he's got.
This team is not.
and he seemed a little disappointed.
Remember when Kobe, this is after the Achilles, but he was playing with Jeremy Lin and them. He was looking at them like, yo.
That's where we're going to start? Like,
that is literally in the trailer.
Thor does diss them.
The whole time he's talking to everyone, he's like, God damn.
I used to fight guys.
Okay, so do we need to like talk about like what happened in the trailer and what we're excited about and all of that before we start?
That is what I'm excited
Kobe
about.
With Jeremy Lin. Guys, just seriously, in a serious way, like do we need to like talk about what we see in the trailer?
The trailer is narrated by Thor. Yeah. He's warning everybody about this imminent threat. We see basically, and this has kind of been teased in a lot of the promotional material, that it feels like this story is going to be divided between three sects. We have the Fantastic Four, we have the Thunderbolts, aka the New Avengers, and then we have Sam Wilson.
Fantastic Four, it looks like, with Thor and maybe even Captain America along with them. With like
and then we have the Fox X-Men.
Right.
So basically in this trailer, we get a lot of Easter eggs, a lot of just, whether you like it or not, Shang-Chi versus Gambit.
Whether you like it or not.
We have Dr. Doom with the runes on his hands, giving Thor the business. Big trailer, big moment. If we want to start with instant reactions.
I'm just gonna ask, just what was everybody's, what was everybody's favorite moment of the trailer, or something that you didn't like? Just get into it. Just so
like or didn't like?
Both liked and didn't like. Give me a like and a not like.
I like seeing all the characters. Like not everybody, right? There's obviously some shots where people aren't like CGI out for sure. But I like seeing the New Avengers and the Fantastic Four like share the screen. You know, Sam Wilson with the like Bucky and all those folks. Seeing the Wakandans and the Atlanteans together again with the Fantastic Four. Like it's just like we've been talking about, like this universe is so big, but all these characters are siloed in different parts. To see them share the screen again for the first time, it feels like since Endgame, is really nice and lovely. And like it did warm my heart. I'm like, finally, this is what I've always wanted. Now, did it look all that great sometimes? No. But I am willing to reserve some skepticism until I see the movie, right? I'm not going to get super negative like you're ready.
I have not said anything.
Brother, you started hating off the rip.
Off
the rip.
Right. Am I wrong for thinking that this was a good trailer?
I think it's a good trailer.
That does not seem to be the tenor.
Nah, I don't think that's true. I think was it a good trailer? Was it a bad trailer? No. But did it move you? No.
Did it move me?
Did it move you?
Yeah. I mean, look, so
interesting.
Okay. Interesting. So the one thing I liked about it was that you got kind of like a clear understanding of a couple of things, like the threat that Doom is, the chaos that has to exist in a world like this. Doomsday is going to be complete and utter chaos. Characters that have never met each other, not knowing how to trust each other, not knowing how to work together, having to figure out on the fly against a new threat that we hadn't really seen, that hadn't been around. So the movie has a lot to do. What I didn't like is that everybody looks so fucking old. And they had talked about, I'll just be honest with you. I'm just be for real. They had talked about this before the movie, the age of these guys. This is legitimately the Avengers Masters Tour.
Unction?
This is an unction. And it'll be interesting to see if that comes across when we're actually watching the movie, if we believe that these guys can dig deep and perform in their last World Cup. It'll be interesting to see if they can do that. But that's
what with the wig was.
It's tough. It's tough. But I will say though that, like, I don't know. I guess I watched the trailer, and the trailer had to sell Doom as a threat, which it did when Stormbreaker's when he lunged at him, and Doom stopped Stormbreaker. Now, okay, the audience understands just how strong Doom is. We will find out why in the movie. And also kind of get us back in the worlds with all of these characters and like get us sectioned off. The movie has to move pretty fast, just like Infinity War. I don't know. I thought it was a good trailer. Maybe not the best trailer I've ever seen, but I thought it was pretty good.
There is a level, and I think this is the point you're speaking about, where we were Infinity War and Endgame. Like, we were like waiting for these things, to see all these characters defeat this threat, to see all these characters after Infinity War and Endgame. Like, how do they rebound on all these? We don't have the attachment to these characters like we used to, right? Maybe Thor, but like seeing Gambit and Shang-Chi fight, it's like, oh, that guy from that one guy and that one guy from that one movie that we haven't seen in 5 years are finally on screen together. Cool, interesting, but it's not like seeing Cap and Black Panther shake hands in Wakanda during the Infinity War trailer. It's just not. And so when you have those highs and you're trying to, I guess we feel like they're trying to like replicate that, but it's just not the same.
Huh?
I think my main concern, I liked most of this trailer. I really liked the reveal of Doom and like kind of the vocal choice that Downey is kind of doing with this. It sounds a little bit like Nandor from What We Do in the Shadows. I like it. I think my main concern really, and we won't know this until the movie comes out, is how much of the Marvel plotting playbook are we going to see, and if those hits are going to be played again. Like, is this going to be more or less a rehash of Infinity War? Like, these heroes don't really know who they are or what they're fighting. You're fighting Doom? Wait a minute, I'm fighting Doom. We've got to band together and fight Doom. Like, is that going to be a different sort of remix of what the things that we've seen before, or is there actually going to be something a bit more substantive?
Well, there are incursions in this.
Right, of course.
So the incursions themselves will kind of be, I don't know. I'm not going to explain because I really don't know. But I would assume that the incursions add a different. There's 3 or 4 worlds that will probably end in this movie, like total universes. I mean, they have to for Battle World to be formed.
For
sure.
So that'll be something that's different, just off what we know plot wise, than Infinity War. But I probably, to be honest with you, the bones of Infinity War will probably be like in this movie, because it's a bunch of heroes that we prune down to one group that's going to have to fight Doom in the next one. Chuck?
Yeah, I thought this was one of the most cynical trailers I've ever watched.
Interesting.
I was like, oh, I'm not the first to say this. I think this might have been a mistake to release after the Odyssey, because I do think the theatrical experience has moved past, especially aesthetically, the MCU, where watching this, I was like, before we even get to the story, I was like, oh, artistically, this looks like a very dark, ugly movie. And I was just worried.
You talking about the Odyssey or
No,
no, I'm talking about Doomsday, where it was like, oh, this is, of course, like heavily CGI'd, but in a lot of places it looks like sludge. And when like characters are meeting, it's just like something about this is not gelling. And I think that's on an emotional level, a narrative level, and an aesthetic level, where everything, it doesn't seem like this movie is moving with confidence. And there was a lot of, even what's supposed to be like a big moment, like Steve Rogers and the Mjolnir, I was like, you're playing on something that happened almost a decade ago at this point. What am I supposed to get from this? It made me worried. After this trailer, I was like, okay, I'm really worried about this film.
Interesting. I did not expect this reaction from you guys. I didn't think that it was a I don't know. Like, I think that being inside of the MCU with the Infinity War trailer and, of course, the Endgame trailer, or really any trailer.
Mhm.
You know, a couple of days ago, Ant-Man was on. What a competent, basically good movie.
Absolutely.
Right? And so, and at that point, Ant-Man was seen as kind of like almost an also-ran in the MCU.
Mhm.
And I think a lot of this has to do, is not just with expectations. You're expecting to feel something.
Mhm.
Like, and so when you're expecting to feel something, it's like I'm not about to sell the trailer because we can have dissension on the trailer and not agree on the trailer. But just think about some of the critiques we're making. We haven't really even talked about even some of the moments in the trailer that the trailer thinks is cool. We're expecting to feel something from the trailer, and because we're not getting that, that's the failing of the trailer.
Mhm.
And like,
But it's supposed to sell us on the movie. It's supposed to
Right.
give us a vision of like, because if we're being real, it's not just us. Kevin Feige, Robert Downey Jr., a lot of the actors and creators that have been a part of this have been very clear, like, hey, we know we've stumbled during the multiversal saga. This movie, we've kind of heard y'all. It's going to be something new. This is going to be something where we're righting the ship. And if I'm going off the trailer, this doesn't seem like a writing of the ship. This just almost seems kind of like some jingling keys and an apology, like, hey, no, we got Chris Evans back. We got Robert Downey Jr. back. I'm like, oh no, that's all cool. What's the story? What's the emotional thing that's happening besides Shang-Chi and Gambit fighting? These are two characters that, okay, sure. Like, what am I supposed to feel?
you guys realize we did this with the Odyssey trailer too.
Yes.
Mhm.
So it might be us.
Could be.
Like,
For
so,
sure.
so,
Like,
so,
we,
like,
we, I don't not have buy-in for, the, for Doomsday.
I know. No, I'm just saying. Okay, cool. I'm not going. Like, I don't know how to actually figure. I don't know how to say like what I'm saying.
The math is essentially, there was a time when this trailer would have like broke us and we'd have been like, oh my gosh, this is like seeing all these characters again. That's gone, right? That, to his point, the emotional weight that these things have are gone, and so it's just what is on the screen. What are we looking at, right?
But also, if we use a recent MCU trailer, the reason that I liked the Spider-Man trailer was because even if like I'm like, who's the villain, did this and that, with Tom Holland emotionally, I was like, okay, this is what this story is about. I can connect to this. I understand why Peter is lost. I get all of what he's fighting for. There was at least enough where I'm like, oh, I'm excited to see this. It seems like something new was happening. I didn't get that same type of like emotional kind of underpinning in this trailer. I still don't really know what they're fighting for.
Well, you remember like they did like the 4 little
Would
spots.
you like me to answer that question? Their worlds are ending. So just so people know what they're supposed to be fighting for, like we all read the source material. So everybody's worlds are incurring on each other, and they are going to have to make decisions about how to either stop these incursions from happening or to let their worlds end. That'll be the deal.
Right.
And in order to do that, there's probably going to be there's likely going to be talk about the branch timeline that Cap started when he went and had his life with Peggy Carter. That'll likely be a through line through this. You'll probably see a lot of your faves from the X-Men universe die.
Yeah.
Like all of that stuff. They already been dead. They didn't die 2 or 3 or 4
Yeah.
times.
They're killing Professor X for the 50th time.
One last ride for like the third time.
One last ride for like the third time. So I'm saying is like,
but in Hickman's run, it's not at, this is what I'll say. These superhero movies, their worlds are always ending. Their universes are always ending. What made the Hickman comics interesting, especially in that lead up with like New Avengers, is you're seeing the Illuminati, all of these quote unquote heroes, whether it's Professor X, Namor, Black Panther,
Doctor Strange,
have to basically decide with all these incursions, are we really heroes? Or are we going to destroy these universes and worlds to save our own?
Yeah.
With this, you don't, because they really have not been building to that throughout this saga, they kind of have to sell us on more than just like the universe ending, because that, to me, emotionally, that doesn't really mean anything.
Well, okay. All right. I mean, I can't argue with anybody's emotions, but if you see the X-Men And you know what? Why am I doing this? Like, you guys, it's to me. Let me tell you why I do. Let me tell you why I'm doing this. There's no doubt about the fact that a lot of this content has been bad for a while, right? I do think that something happens that I always bristle against. In 2015, it was cool to say that Ant-Man was a bad movie when Ant-Man was a perfectly good movie.
I never said that.
But it was cool to be like, Ant-Man is just like whatever.
Right.
Or that Doctor Strange is just like whatever. No. It seems like the cool thing to do now is to like hyper with like a fine-tooth comb, pull this stuff apart and like and galaxy brain it out and talk about all of this stuff. Like it now seems like if the path of least resistance is no longer to even look for something in the film that might be entertaining, it's just to be like, they're gonna flop again.
Yeah,
Right.
no, I get that. I think
That's fair.
No. I've seen that, and we were probably going to talk about it. But for me, the version of that for me is what people talking, like hating the Russos. People get online, but like, man, the Russos ruined, and I'm like, yes, the same guys that gave us Winter Soldier, Civil War, Infinity War, which I think is the best movie in the MCU by far, and Endgame. Let's calm down, right? Yeah, like outside of the MCU, you know, Gray Man, like all that stuff, Electric Company, you can say whatever you want, whatever.
Terrible movies.
Yeah.
Right.
Gray Man was all right.
But like for
even
me,
if
but
we
for me,
compare
but
this
if like
to their movies, this movie doesn't like aesthetically it looks bad. This movie does not look as good as Winter Soldier. Like there's a lot going on in this movie where I was like, even when the actors in the lead up to this, it's not like I'm reading into this. A lot of them like we did not know where we were. Like we didn't even know what we were talking to.
Always been like that.
But what I'm saying now is, in the past, I think it's a lot easier to do that on movies where there's not as many characters and you have a sturdier hand on the narrative ship. When you haven't had a sturdy hand for a while, you start to wonder. When you watch the trailer, there were moments where I was like, this, even the actors talking to each other, there's not a lot of gravitas to it because these characters don't know each other. They literally have been thrown together at the last minute because of everything that happened with Kang, all of the movies that they thought would work that didn't. Even if we think about like who like Sam Wilson's Avengers were going to be, there's a lot of characters I was like, shit, where's Captain Marvel? Where's She-Hulk? Where are all of these other characters that we were supposed to buy into? It almost seems kind of a little random in a lot of ways.
Right. Well, the story has to. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Like I'm actually podcasting bad here because I came in with expectations about the trailer. Not that the trailer, I didn't think the trailer was like the greatest trailer I've ever seen. But like a lot of, like, for example, I'm really not trying to be pedantic. The characters don't know each other. Spider-Man introduces himself to Doctor Strange like in the movie.
Right.
A lot of characters in Infinity War didn't know each other. Like they didn't. That's just the thing that
No,
happened.
but the core of the core that like takes us through that movie did. We were going through, and what works about Infinity War and Endgame is that even if a lot of the characters didn't know each other, there were so many relationships that had been built up or disintegrated. So you're like, well, how does something like Infinity War happen? Oh, well, we watched Civil War. Oh, we had watched all of these movies that had
there was stuff that happened that brought us to where we are now, and like they could play on that.
All right, Sam Wilson's Captain America. What has happened in the MCU since he's been Captain America that makes sense with these characters, that can give us those moments?
Right.
He almost seems in the same way, like the Fantastic Four are from a different universe. The X-Men are from a different universe. So a lot of this.
So then the trailer couldn't have been good.
No. That's not what I'm saying. It's what I'm saying is like the story does not have very, very strong roots because so many things, whether it's the Eternals or the Marvels or all of these movies that didn't work, got pushed away.
Right.
So they're almost trying to make an Avengers movie on the fly. And the great thing about the Avengers movies to begin with is that they all built on each other.
Right. So then there was no way. So then I understand what you're saying. And I think that's actually a good point. Like the ingredients for this pie are not great. I get it. But so what you're saying is then there's no way that it could be good then.
No, that's not. No, I think it's more so to hit the bullseye is just more difficult. It's not me saying that this movie was always going to be bad. It's like, I do think that they kind of needed to do the opposite, where instead of selling us on the multiversal aspect of all of this, where I think a lot of people are tired of it, I think the real thing that does work in this trailer is Thor, because it's a character that we care about.
That's exactly. I was gonna say this. Like, we did like the 4 little trailers at the beginning. The best one was the Thor one, because not only is that the character we care about the most, they really know how to write him, but it's a character that we know and we love, and we see him on one knee in the forest being like, yo, man, I've been alive for 5,000 years. I faced a lot of people, had a lot of people die on me, and nothing has scared me more than this. And you're like, oh, because I've been with that guy since 2010. I know what he's been through. I know what he's fought for. What could he possibly be facing now that makes it all like, makes him as scared as he's ever been? That was the best part of the trailer.
And I'm excited that what it seems like they are anchoring this story around. It was just everything that was happening around Thor seemed very random.
Right. The reason why it seems random, just once again, just so we know, the reason why it seems random is because we don't believe it, because there's no foundation, which means that no matter what they would have done, the foundation for I can't disagree with that. The foundation of the last 6 years is so bad that it couldn't have delivered.
No. Do you mean this trailer?
I'm talking about overall. So can you guys like, so if it's like when so trailer and movie. So if what you guys are saying is that everything is random, so the reason why Infinity War and Endgame worked is because all of these characters had all of these relationships. Now, not all of those relationships were needed for Infinity War to work, but our relationship, to Charles's point, with all those characters like was needed. Like when Spider-Man jumps off the bus, we know that like right away he's in over his head because we've watched him. So we've watched him, and him being an Avenger, like there's a little moment in there where Tony knights him an Avenger, and it's like a big, huge moment,
right?
Because we know that he turned down being an Avenger, he wasn't ready to be an Avenger, all of that stuff like that, and now he is an Avenger when the Avengers need him most.
Right.
All of that I get. But I just want us to like own what it is that we're saying, like, or because if we're saying that things are so bad or have been so bad, that not just this trailer, but the movie itself is a failed project before we even see it.
We didn't say that. Nobody said
we
that.
didn't say that.
Hold on, wait a second.
I think it's more of the fact that like we are trying to.
That is what was said.
That's not what was said. Who said that?
So I'll ask this. So when I say like, oh, it seems like the movie theater experience and just the culture has moved past the MCU with the movies that we are either excited to see or have seen this year. I do think that there is a difference between what the MCU is offering versus whether it's something that's on the smaller scale, like a Backrooms, or is on a bigger scale, like the Odyssey. I think the culture is responding to, hey, when we go to a movie, not only do we want to see something new, but visually we want to see something that doesn't just feel like a bunch of people gathered together on a blue screen and you like pop them in there later. And what I think worked about that original's Avengers is that like even when there was spectacle all around, the thing at the core of it that worked, it was like a sitcom. It was all characters. Like the things that we remember about that movie are them on the Triskelion, like however you say the fucking chill ship.
The helicarrier.
The helicarrier.
Yeah.
All bickering with each other. Where to me, that is actually the thing that is like has been missing for a while, which is no, the CGI slop of it all. Say what you will, the heart of these stories is, can I believe that like these are people that I want to invest in, that I can laugh with, that feel like real characters? And right now they feel more like IP to me.
Okay, like I get that. But once again, that is a criticism of the overall, this is the only thing I'm trying to say, this is the last time I'm saying it. That is a criticism of the overall state of the MCU that shows up in this movie or shows up in this trailer, right? That is once again leading us to say that's why I didn't feel anything.
Right.
So can we, if we talk about specifics, like did any of the X-Men stuff in this trailer work?
For me, I'm curious about it. And that's and that is the purpose of a trailer for me. The purpose of a trailer for me is to give me a clear sense of what's going on in the movie. wow, this is cool. Here's the villain. This is how they look. I thought Doom looked really good. I thought like putting Thor up against Doom and showing audiences like, oh my God, who is this Doom guy? I thought all of that stuff worked. I'm curious to see why we even need to have Mystique and Cyclops. What is their utility in this movie? Like, what is that world? I'm curious about all of this. The only reason why I think this has been a really interesting conversation is because it's not even about like crystallizing what you guys are trying to say or like trying to pin you down on one thing. It's not me doing that at all. What I'm trying to say is that like there is a lot that we've talked about that like we haven't talked really about the trailer. There's a feeling that you're supposed to get from a trailer, and we didn't get that feeling because we don't have that feeling for Marvel anymore, which means the trailer is a failure. Well, so the trailer has to capture a feeling, right?
But to me, even if we talk about the specifics, like Gambit versus Shang-Chi was, even for me as a comic book fan, I was like, oh, this is random. Like it was just like seeing Channing Tatum in that Gambit costume again. I was like, no, this works in Deadpool and Wolverine because it's leaning into the joke. The minute it's no longer a joke and I'm supposed to take it seriously, I was like, okay. Seeing like an older Mystique, I was like, oh, this doesn't look cool. This kind of looks like a bunch of people in their like late 40s,
Certainly.
50s, putting on the costume again, trying to sell us on a feeling. There was just so many of those. Even, I hate to say it, like the Shuri and M'Baku thing. I was like, it's not giving me the feelings that the Wakandans are supposed to give me.
It's not giving you the feelings that the Wakanda. I'm glad you bring that up. It's not giving you the feelings that the Wakanda is supposed to give you, is because feelings kept you from recasting Black Panther. And like, if Black Panther, it's just a fucking fact. I'm not. It's not about.
I mean, it's not wrong.
But this is the deal though. Like the deal is like with something like that. I understand everybody's argument for that. I overstand it now. Believe me, I overstand it. People have reached out. I overstand people's argument for that. But there's a part of, okay, let me finish that statement. There's a real world reason as to why a Black Panther, Shuri is Black Panther, by the way. So the Black Panther's in the movie. But there's a reason why T'Challa isn't running out there.
Right.
And that reason has to do with something that happened in the real world.
Right.
There's also a reason why all these characters are in this movie. The reason why all these characters are in this movie is because business. Because Fox was absorbed by Disney, and they can do this. Who knows what this movie would have been if they couldn't have done it. So Disney has Fox now. If this movie was made in 2014, they couldn't even have Spider-Man in it because they hadn't made that deal yet.
Right.
So there's a reason why all of this stuff is coming together. It's because all of this IP needs to come together and then get thinned out so they can do whatever they're going to do, and we can go into the future of superhero movies either on one leg, maybe on one foot, maybe like just the spirit of them moving forward. Who knows what the future of any of this stuff is.
Right.
All of that stuff is the real world reason why this is happening. That's the reason why T'Challa's not in this movie. All of this stuff is happening at the same time. We all get it. And there have been some real swings and misses. The only thing I'm saying is like, you know, like we watched the trailer and there are things that happen in the trailer. We could talk about whether or not the scenes on the trailer are executed well enough, or the visuals in the trailer are executed well enough, and we have done that to get us excited. But if we say that things have been so bad that there's almost no way to be excited because there's nothing to build on, which is a fair critique, but it's a wholly different critique than the critique of the trailer.
I think I'm making both critiques. I think the trailer in and of itself, just the trailer, if we're talking about the trailer, I don't think that this is up to the standards of the best MCU trailers. I just don't. And even if we're using, a lot of people did not like the Spider-Man trailer that we loved. I liked that trailer. I thought it really, really worked. Like, whether the movie does or not, I'm just like, it sold me on Spider-Man. It sold me on him versus the Hulk. Like, there were funny things between him and the Punisher. There was enough there where I'm like,
there's a new one out, by the way.
I watched that one and I was just like, still really, really works. Like, and I think it's different because that's Spider-Man and this is Avengers, but it is possible for the MCU to still make trailers, in my opinion, that can get you excited. Because I watched the final Spider-Man one, and I was like, oh, this is interesting. How much does Ned know? How much does Zendaya know? Like, fucking, we get to see a little bit more of the Savage Hulk. They're in over their heads. I was like, okay.
Because you're
Punisher.
invested into that story, so that trailer had less to do.
What I actually think is, and I think Tom Holland has been doing a very, very good job with this. I think everyone from Daniel Creston to Tom Holland have really been putting their best foot forward in terms of like, we wanted to make something, not just because we wanted another Spider-Man movie. Tom Holland had things that he wanted to still see in a Spider-Man movie, things he still wanted to say. He was very clear about like tweaking the story, taking more time.
Right.
And all of that together, when you watch the trailer, you're like, okay, I see a spark here. Watching Avengers Doomsday, I didn't necessarily see that same spark, or I didn't get, even when we're talking about emotions, I didn't even get those emotions from certain like character interactions. When Spider-Man like pops through and like Ned sees him, he's like, and we're like, oh, okay. Their friendship is so like, I know what this is.
Because and that moment matters. That's a moment that matters in the trailer because of a connection you have to what you believe is good source material that already exists.
Right.
Yeah.
So like it because we don't feel that same way. So that's obviously a big part of it. I'm like, we've been on this too long. I get it. I get what you guys, I get what you guys are saying. I wonder how many more they'll put out or like what the movie will be like. But I also wonder now whether or not the movie is just a failed experiment, period.
So, well, can I ask this? Because what's interesting is this almost is the opposite thing that Infinity War did, where Infinity War puts almost all the characters on screen.
Mm-hmm.
We get Spider-Man, we're getting fucking Hulk, we're getting Guardians of the Galaxy, and then they do a very smart thing in Endgame where they're like, we are sending off the original Avengers, so most of this story is going to be about them, and then you'll get all of the heroes at the end. What I realized in Doomsday is I'm like, oh, I think you guys hid the ball too much, where you do still have heroes and relationships that could ground this, which is Spider-Man, Hugh Jackman, Wolverine, Deadpool, Doctor Strange. You still have those characters, and I think either they don't want to show us that yet, or they want to save it for Secret Wars. And part of me is like, that might have been a miscalculation in terms of just like trying to put so much emphasis on not the lesser heroes, but new heroes that have struggled to really connect.
Hiding the ball is interesting because, to your point earlier, you talked about like our conversation about the Odyssey trailer and how we were like, we don't understand what's going on, this and that, whichever. We see the movie and our eyes are open, right? We're like all the stuff that like the stuff we didn't see in the trailer from the Odyssey movie. We were like, what's going on? He's on the beach, he's doing this, whatever. They saved all that sauce for the film. Right. So again, to your other point, we're like, is this movie a failed experiment off the trailer? No, because if they're hiding the ball and we get there, we go, see, nah, you know what I'm saying? They didn't put us in the trailer. They saved us for the movie. We had a great time in December. We're like, wow, actually the movie was great. Like, there's still a chance of that.
Of course. But I will say there is one difference. The reputation of the filmmaker. So,
I mean, it's not an issue for me, but yeah.
But the reputation of the filmmaker. So like, the Odyssey is good. It's good. It's not quite as good as what it is being talked about like online, and that's okay. I said this before. I said that the Odyssey was so good that I said that the Odyssey.
Yeah.
I said that the Odyssey. Said this when we parted. The Odyssey is. I said that the Odyssey is so good that it didn't matter that it wasn't quite as good as I thought it was going to be. Right. So the Odyssey is really good, but reputation matters in this, right? Like, reputation matters in this situation. Reputation mattered in Disclosure Day, right? It matters. It matters. And so when you're sitting down watching a Christopher Nolan movie, the parts where the movie lulls and the parts where it sticks a little bit, you're going to extract something out of it because you know that you're going to get either a third act or an explanation for the bad parts or the slow parts that like make up for it. In this situation, rightly so, there's an expectation of dysfunction that I think that is going to be difficult for some people to get over when they watch the movie. Some people will have fun, but I think a lot of people will be like, well, we know that this has been kind of a mess putting this all together. We are in a meta conversation with Marvel in a way that we're not with Nolan.
Mhm.
We're in a meta conversation with Marvel. Every time a deal gets made, we know about it. Every time there's an opportunity for something, we know about it. Every time we're in a meta conversation with Marvel, and they started it.
Yeah, they did.
And they started it. So this is a little bit different. So there's a skepticism going into Doomsday that I don't think will exist with an auteur like Christopher Nolan or Quentin Tarantino or someone like that.
If we zoom out, there was more Feige revealed. He said, quote, he said this on the Happy Sack Confused podcast with Joshua Horowitz. Quote, I'm feeling like a gigantic loser and failure that we didn't get off the ground with Mahershala. Obviously, he's talking about the Blade film.
Mhm.
And then when he was asked about, like, where is the MCU going? Are you guys going for a hard reboot? Feige pointed towards the Hickman Secret Wars comic to kind of be like, I would look towards that comic and everything that happened after to kind of give you guys a hint of where we're going. It's not going to be, it doesn't seem like it's going to be a very hard reboot. And then I do believe he said that Adam Driver keeps turning down the MCU. So we're going to be at San Diego Comic-Con. We're trying to get into this Marvel panel. It's always crazy. To y'all, what does what do you think's going to happen at the Marvel panel, and what do you think the Marvel panel has to accomplish? Because if we're being real, here's the thing. I might have been down on the Avengers trailer. We have a Spider-Man movie that is probably going to be one of, not just the biggest movie of the year, it might be the biggest.
Yeah.
Just financially, there's a lot of just energy behind Tom Holland and Zendaya. So they could go into this panel on an upswing. But obviously, there's the X-Men of it all. Casting news. I'll start with you, Steve. What do you hope for? What do you think Marvel needs to kind of do?
I think it's really kind of just to portray their own excitement, which again, it's their job to be excited. But I think to transfer that excitement to Hall H, because we constantly talk about the reveal of RDJ being Doom and being in that room when that happened. And that was an undeniable moment of pure fandom buy-in, regardless of what happened the day after and the conversation that happened after. In that room, in that time, that was the moment. I think what Hall H can do here is portray that level of excitement by giving us something that we have never actually seen before and actually subvert all of these conversations that we're having by truly crossing a line and giving us something that's bold. And if they show that off, I think that they've got a pretty good case on their hands.
I mean, to your point, we got Spider-Man. They can show us something from Doomsday. I think what'll be really interesting is, I mean, you talked about the Adam Driver stuff, and it's like he's been cast as Magneto and as what's it called, Mr. Sinister, and all those things. They could come out. They could still surprise us. They could still shock us. We could still go in there and leave and be like, "Wow, man, Marvel still got the juice." I don't think the trailer is the end all be all to the Marvel hype machine, because like we said, like at 2024, at least for me, Robert Downey Jr. to take off a mask, I'm like, yo, man, let's cook, man. We back, baby. You know what I mean? Anything's possible. So we'll have to see what they show us. I think, again, Spider-Man and Doomsday are the releases this year. But if they like tease some stuff going forward, they drop the whole X-Men cast on us, bro. Come on, man.
Or a scene.
I don't even know if they need to drop the whole. If I'm
You're
being
gonna
real,
be juiced.
I think the problem with the Avengers Doomsday trailer is very simple: is that it feels old. Where not just because of the characters, they are banking on a level of nostalgia where it's like the real thing that we've been waiting for the MCU is the mutants. And I just think we're getting to a point where if you're a hyper fan like us, I do think you just kind of want a level of feeling like there's a sure hand, like we are marching towards something and we're marching towards the mutants. And for so long, it's been, whether that's been in Multiverse of Madness, Miss Marvel, now this, you're kind of trading like, you guys want the Fox X-Men? We're like, we got the Fox X-Men. Like what's happening?
Right. I think Marvel has to do two things. Number one, they have to demonstrate narrative confidence. I think that's what everybody is saying, right?
Yeah.
Just demonstrate a confidence in the narrative that they have. Even if, we don't get from them exactly what we want from them, like they have to, we're past that point. We're past the point of a character showing up and us being like, oh my God, look, it's fucking Puck. Like we're past that. Like we're past that. Like that doesn't work anymore. The most obscure characters have shown up, and it hasn't really led to anything.
Styles,
it
Patrol, shout out.
mean anything, right? So Marvel has to demonstrate narrative confidence, which means Marvel has to do something that they can't that's impossible for them to do. They have to not care about the fans. Marvel's lost the fans. They have. They've lost the fans. The fans they've lost them.
Wait, have they lost? Have they lost? It seemed to. I would argue
they've lost the gen pop.
Yeah, they lost general population.
They've lost
the
the
fans
general population.
are gonna sign up.
No, the fans are going to go. But when I'm saying losing the fans, they've lost the fans. You know this from watching sports. You watch the decline of your favorite player for at least 3 seasons, maybe depending on how bad the fall off is, because sometimes you're like, get this bum off my team.
Yeah.
But you watch the decline of your favorite player for 2 or 3 seasons, right? This guy's not good at, but you won't believe it at first. At first, when you start to see that he can't get to the basket anymore, that he's not, at first you will not believe it.
Because he'll have like 1 or 2 where you
because he'll have one game where he comes out there and he goes crazy and you'll be like, it's still in there.
Like he never lost
in retrospect, no, this is
But
exactly
here's the deal though. Once you're convinced that he is no longer who he used to be, it is over. And you are like, once you're convinced, now he's taking up space on the roster,
making too much money.
Making too much money.
Damn.
We gotta service him. Now, basketball, it could be a little different because you could send off on the Kobe situation. In football, they cut you the first moment. If that 40 drop by half a point, you're out.
All right, in retrospect, if we're looking back, what was the moment? Like, what was the movie, TV show where you're like, damn, they actually lost it here, but we weren't ready to be like.
I think Marvel tore their Achilles in like 2022 or 2023.
Nah,
Secret Invasion?
No.
I think, but the TV stuff really is more of anything because I submit right now that if Marvel would have never tried television, we wouldn't be as down on Marvel as what we are.
Not only do I agree, I would actually say it's earlier. I really think, and it's so funny, I think it was Multiverse of Madness, but they followed it up with No Way Home. And it's funny that we're at another point where like
Spider-Man's coming to save it.
We're like, damn, we're really excited about this Spider-Man joint.
Going back and looking at Multiverse of Madness to me isn't that bad.
It's not.
But overrated.
And in a healthier MCU, it would have been fine. But the problem is, Marvel, I will say this, Marvel has done some good TV, but the TV stuff was so saturated that it formed a trend of bad Marvel products, which we had never had before. You get a bad one, then you get 3 good ones, and you get one you kind of didn't like. And TV gave you boom after boom after boom after boom, and you're investing so much time, it's like, this is not worth my time anymore. So I do think that we are kind of in that situation right now, which is why, to your point, you got to turn the franchise over. Like what I think that Comic-Con has to actually do is be more like a draft. Because what happens is when your favorite team is actually bad, right? Or your guy is actually fucked up, what gets you back is that like you draft Wemby. What gets you back is that like you draft whomever. Give me
Look, you draft LeBron.
You draft LeBron. You
set your franchise.
You set your franchise.
behind this guy.
Like, I'm not
Luka
saying that's
Doncic.
it. But if you think about Sadie Sink and her being Jean Grey, I do think that's a moment where Marvel could be like, hey, we gave you a taste. We have something coming. They're like Jean Grey to X-Men are about to be.
That's and that's exactly what I'm saying. They come, they drop the X-Men, we go boom, the future. We can
not the X-Men cast in Doomsday, but you mean the X-Men, the new X-Men.
The new X-Men.
Not just dropping the X-Men, but I think there's a reason why he said the Adam Driver thing. I think Adam Driver will be announced as part of the X-Men cast at Comic-Con. And I think, and let me tell you why that's important.
Yeah.
I think the reason why he said Adam Driver keeps turning down the MCU is because he doesn't want them to step on the reveal. Adam Driver is not the biggest star in the world, but he's a guy that people know outside of that fucking dinosaur movie like that takes his career seriously.
Right.
So it would seem, and he was great as Kylo Ren. He could give like an inspired performance in a big IP thing. Yeah. It would seem as if a guy like that was signing up for this, that in some way he believed in what they were doing.
Mm-hmm.
It's a quality control indicator in the same way that it's like, you ask why it's so hard to recast. Like, for James Gunn to do his version of Batman, I'm like, Robert Pattinson is like such the guy right now where it's like, you want to see him do that. And I think Adam Driver is another, whether he's Magneto or Mr. Sinister, there's a floor to me of Adam. Adam Driver's been in some bad movies,
Yes.
but if Adam Driver, to your point, is signing up, they had to have pitched him on something.
Exactly.
Whether it's a character or a story where they're like, we know we've been fucking up.
Also, it's a swing, but he actually kind of low key. We have a great reputation with him, and he's a great actor and all of that. But he low key needs something to kind of undergird and buoy his career.
Absolutely.
He's made a couple of.
I know we got to go because we
we
stayed with 20 minutes. It was almost 50. But the
Sorry, Aleya.
when the Achilles injury metaphor, like when did they finally lose it? I think I'm gonna run through just movies from Phase 4 and Phase 5. And I want you guys to tell me where you think it was over. Black Widow, Shang-Chi, Eternals, Spider-Man No Way Home, Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, Thor Love and Thunder, Black Panther Wakanda Forever, Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania, Guardians 3, The Marvels, Deadpool and Wolverine, Captain America Brave New World, and Thunderbolts.
Love and Thunder.
So Love and Thunder probably, but because Love and Thunder was a movie that I'm gonna tell you what Love and Thunder is. Love and Thunder is your favorite player is starting to fuck up a little bit, but then you go out and you get Love and Thunder is the movie to me that's like the mid to late 90s, the late 90s Houston Rockets.
Okay.
Because it's like Dream is getting a little older.
Right.
All right. Barkley's getting a little older.
Mhm.
If we put Dream and Barkley and Pippen together, we should at least, and that team was better than people give it credit for.
Right.
We should at least be able to like make the finals because we got all of these guys together. Then it just doesn't work. It doesn't really work. And so there's really not much you can do to put around your player anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
Like it's not much.
Because then you get a
can do.
Quantumania. That's
It's
what
kind of like gone.
But it's not just the player. You think about it, it's people turning against Taika Waititi. And like Taika and Coogler had been two examples of directors who in later stage Marvel were like, oh, we're not just making a superhero movie. We're kind of achieving heights that we hadn't thought, especially the solo movies, could necessarily get to. And the audience was like, get Taika.
It was just too much. It was like it was just too much. It was too much. And that's about the point to where it was like, man, I know that we got some other shit that these other characters, maybe we don't like them as much, but we don't just like Thor. We like to be in that world. And when we didn't have as much fun with the movie as we thought that we were going to have, we were like, it's tough.
All right, real quick, because we gotta record some House of the Dragon shit. We're gonna be at San Diego Comic-Con all fucking weekend. What are some other things coming out that we're excited about? Marvel Wolverine panel, new game.
Yeah.
Right.
That'll be fun.
The Avatar Last Airbender.
Video game panel.
Tough.
Wow.
Tough.
I don't give a fuck about no video game panel.
You don't give a fuck about Wolverine?
I give a fuck about the game.
Spider-Man 2 is your favorite game of like all time.
But I love the game. But what is a video game panel? That's not.
They show gameplay. We haven't seen gameplay from this thing in a minute.
I watch that on my computer. I don't like that type of shit.
Oh, you can watch a Doomsday trailer on your computer, whatever.
But it's actors and shit. You know what I mean? It's actors and new shit. I don't. A video game panel.
I get more of a fuck about Wolverine, the Wolverine gameplay than I do going to like Lanterns. Like I'm like.
I mean, that's cool. Lanterns is kind of like
I'm psyched for Lanterns.
On the real, I'm kind of like almost like fuck that shit too, really.
What? Okay, all right.
What are you going for?
Stay home. I'm excited for the people. I like getting together with people, having a bite. I like having a beer.
Bite.
You know, I like walking around and seeing people. I'm excited. All this stuff.
S-tier people watching.
With like S-tier people watching. People around and say hello. They come up to Jomi. Jomi doesn't know how to deal with it. People come up to Jomi. They go, "I love you, Jomi." Jomi's like,
Oh, we're bringing back the bit, by the way.
And so all of that. That's what I'm excited for. Like, I like these panels.
I actually disagree. I saw Jomi out there as Zebulon. A lot of shotties was approaching my man.
That's different though.
That's how the room smells like that.
He in go mode, but he in go mode. But like for me, I don't get super excited at this shit. Hey, here comes Robert Downey. He's an actor. Like,
okay, fine. Play back when we just saw Robert Downey Jr. at Comic-Con. We were excited.
I was there. It was bringing out people. I'm like,
it's like, nigga, wait. It's like, I don't know, bro. I'm just like,
they never bring this back.
I'm old, bro. It's like, here it is, right here. Sadie. So
no. There's some that, like, if we being completely honest, there are some panels like the Marvel panel, like, was things interesting when interesting things happen, right? Mm-hmm. You go, even if it's like, we're like, oh, we were in the room for that. There was a moment in time where history, when something happens,
Yeah, it's cool.
it's
I'm
cool.
not- yeah.
But then you have times
We gonna
where,
cut it. It's
like
whole behavior sometimes. I'm like, hey,
Nah,
I agree, nigga. Like, I'm not even like,
Come on, bro.
By the way, I'm not trying to yuck anybody's yum. I get it.
at least when I see like a basketball player like dunk, I'm like, all right, I'm seeing like a one-of-one athlete doing something crazy.
But let me tell you
Kevin
what.
Feige on stage.
But
nigga,
let me
with
tell
a
you what
hat
I
on.
do get excited about. What I do get excited about is like dumb shit. Like if you roll out Chopper or R2D2, I go, oh shit! Look, it's R2D2.
When they bring out Baby Yoda, I'm like, oh,
shit! But like, I watch this nigga on Apple TV. Like I know he's an actor.
Jomi, bring it up. Bob Iger's standing ovation. Like that was dick right.
Nigga,
That was
dick right. I hate that.
That was
shit.
dick right.
That was insane. That was insane.
OD dick
I'm
right.
trying to tell y'all, bro. It's like I hate that. It is completely awesome to like look up to all of these people who make this world.
No, not Bob Iger. No,
That
we don't need that.
Damn, dog.
That was
And
nuts.
so
That was
I think the panels, I love, I have been excited. Remember that one time where Kevin Feige goes up there and he puts up all the movies they're gonna do? They got the Inhumans in there.
The whole
They got
timeline,
fucking,
Yeah.
like Civil War. All of that stuff was cool. I was like, they gonna do Civil War. That's dope. Really, that's gone. And so like, I go to all the panels and it's fun, but it's fun more to me to watch how excited the people get. That is really what I love about
it. It is.
I mean, there's an opportunity that we can get some footage that nobody will ever see, or at least not until the movie comes out.
Yeah.
Right? We get some exclusive stuff.
Yeah, that's cool.
That stuff
that's
is cool.
That's cool. You're right.
It's one thing to do that. It's another thing to do the Peacemaker panel. Those are two different things.
I just like watching people like have fun and be excited and like everybody celebrating and love.
And
Getting caught up in that
everybody's gonna
excitement
be
is
I
excited.
wonderful.
love that. That's what I love.
Yeah.
I don't go to that bitch to see. I don't go to that bitch to see Adam Driver. I'm trying not to diss nobody. Shout out to Adam Driver.
Watch it as we see Adam Driver get ushered out into the call age.
But you know they bring him out and stuff like that. Or maybe if they did a like a fucking casting that I didn't think it was. This is Eddie Murphy as Mr. Sinister. I'd be like, oh shit, that's kind
that is enthralling.
Eddie Murphy as
You
Apocalypse.
telling Denzel Washington rolls out there? They're like, we gave you.
That I'm not gonna lie. That'll probably do it.
Come on.
I mean, he said that he's in it.
Charles is right. All right, that'll probably do it.
Denzel is Apocalypse? Hold on.
Denzel coming out, he's Apocalypse. But what if they give Denzel like an off-brand role?
What's a Black Panther villain that
They
he
make
could
him
be?
Juggernaut?
Storm's dad?
What
Like-
if they give? What if they?
Storm's
give-
dad.
Dog,
crazy.
Apocalypse in Black Panther would be crazy though.
That would be awesome.
Egypt, Wakanda, you bring Storm up in there. Come on.
Apocalypse African. They would make the black man the enemy.
All right, yo,
He
let's
African.
wrap it up.
He African. That's an African. That's one of
It's
us.
Egyptian, yeah.
Well, I mean, it depends of whether or not he thinks it. Because I got to. You guys make sure you watch the House of the Dragon. We got cute. There's been a development.
Don't
in the
spoil it. Don't
Nigerian-
spoil it.
Okay.
Don't spoil it.
All right.
Don't
That's
spoil it.
enough. That's it. We're done.
You said we go for 20. What?
Go
We're
for
in an
an hour.
hour.
Sorry, Aleya.
Went for
No
an hour.
graphics. Like easy. Just don't cut nothing. Just put it.
Yeah,
out.
just put it.
All right, y'all. Remember, Thursday, entire Ringerverse crew is doing a meet and greet at Whiskey Girl at 6:30. No badge required. Saturday, the Midnight Boys and House of R are doing a panel at 10:30 a.m. at the Convention Center, room 5AB. Stay locked into all socials, and Jomi's going to be telling you where we're at, everything we're up to, and we're out.